Oh man, Blake, you are in so much trouble. So much trouble. And I'm very confident in the fact that Blake is the bully. Blake was absolutely using Taylor, and I think she's done this to a lot of...
What happens when two Hollywood powerhouses, Taylor Swift and Justin Baldoni, team up to take down Blake Lively's version of the story? Behind the cameras, friendships crumble, secrets unravel, and a shocking lawsuit flips the script. Is Blake the victim she claims to be, or the mastermind behind the chaos? The truth is messier than anyone imagined.
Lively was accused of threatening Taylor Swift to publicly support her or else release 10 years worth of text messages, amongst other things. A source came to Justin Baldoni's lawyer, and Justin Baldoni's lawyer entered this into the motion, which of course did not go well with the judge because of some procedural issues. So the judge basically says, I got to reject it from the docket, and it's going to have to be re-entered in some sort of different way. Because Taylor Swift's lawyer is involved in a lawsuit, a subpoena by Justin Baldoni's attorney in the District of Columbia. So there's some issues above my pay grade with why the judge rejected this right now, but the truth is the truth. And Baldoni wanted to get a subpoena of Taylor Swift so that he could look at this one email that proves that she was being extorted by Blake Lively. Well, who's the one who leaked this story? Candace Owens has it right here.
So who was the person? Who was Unexpected Dragon? Who was the person that very clearly after this Super Bowl thing got upset? Drum roll, please, you guys. Allegedly. Taylor Swift's father.
Of course.
Scott Swift. I love this so much. You guys, this means the mother of dragons, Khaleesi, forgot that there could be a father to the dragon, a father to...
By the way, fathers know best, okay? I'm a dad. I've been one for a whole year now. And let me tell you something. Somebody gets in the way of you, your family, your loved one, you're going to do what you need to do. And Taylor Swift may have taken the high road, but Daddy Swift, not so much. The original Swiftie says, I don't think so. And let me tell you something. This father Swift clearly thinks the world of Taylor. I think he moved his whole business from Pennsylvania to Nashville, right? Just so that they could see the All-American Rejects. No, just so maybe Taylor Swift will be opening for All-American Rejects for all we know. But either way, this is no surprise to me. And there were rumblings that this might be the case, but good for him. Go to bat for your family.
Her dragon, Taylor Swift. This savage man, Scott Swift, is going to turn me into a Swiftie. When I say a Swiftie, I don't mean a Taylor Swift fan, okay? I mean a Scott Swift fan, because this one...
Blake Lively wasn't just acting, she was directing. Especially during intimate scenes with Justin Baldoni, insiders say Blake took full creative control. While the production had an intimacy coordinator on paper, it was Blake who dictated the choreography, lighting, camera angles, and emotional pacing. Crew members describe her as the unofficial director of intimacy, pausing takes to fine-tune gestures, adjust framing, and ensure scenes matched her personal boundaries and artistic vision. Her assertiveness was initially praised as empowering, redefining how actresses could protect their space without compromising performance. But now, with Blake accusing Justin of crossing boundaries during those very scenes, the narrative is shifting. How does someone so in control later claim to be violated by what they orchestrated? Was her dominance a form of self-protection, or has it complicated her ability to claim misconduct? As the legal battle unfolds, Hollywood is left questioning where creative authority ends and consent begins.
Lively's attorneys were quick to declare this a win for her side now that Justin has withdrawn the subpoena sent to Taylor and her legal team after the firm objected to the amount of the unwarranted fishing expedition, etc., etc. Lively's team was quick to reply with a statement and said that we are pleased that Justin and the Wayfair parties have withdrawn their harassing subpoenas to Taylor Swift and her law firm. We supported the efforts of Taylor's team to quash these inappropriate subpoenas directed to her counsel, and we will continue to stand up for any third party who is unjustly harassed or threatened in the process. Oh my God, what a big laugh. Now, the reality is why they did this, the reality of why they squashed this, they got what they wanted. Now, others have started reporting on what we alluded to when this initially broke, because I told you guys, look, I still firmly believe it, and I'm hearing it more and more through sources and people I'm talking to. There's only 3 people that this source who told Justin's team that they were extorted could be Tree, Taylor's manager publicist, or her dad, Scott, or her mom. Now, I'm leaning more towards her parents more and more. Candace Owens just went the other day and heavily implied it as well. I think we're on the same wavelength. Now, again, they haven't themselves confirmed it yet, and they may not want to, but it makes total sense, guys. You got to think about this. As Taylor Swift is now being extorted and threatened with all these text messages to come out, that doesn't help her brand at all. And she's a very powerful business with a huge fan base. I don't think they react well to bullies. I really don't. And I think this was too much for the entire empire to bear. And so it makes total sense that her parents or her manager were the ones who went out and said enough is enough. And now that they've squashed it, now, like, really think about it. Now that it's squashed, which all these outlets are trying to say, oh, no longer speeding, no longer. Why do you think that really was? Now, this is my opinion, my conspiracy theory. It's exactly what it says right here. They got what they wanted. Now, if they have proof that Taylor's lawyer was threatened, if that's all real, that will come out in the process. And they clearly wanted it out there to send a warning shot to Blake and Ryan, who think they're on the road, winning, and they're winning. But no. If they can prove that Taylor Swift's team and lawyers, in fact, confirmed or gave them the evidence to show that they were asked not to do this, oh man, Blake, you are in so much trouble.
The fallout between Justin Baldoni and Blake Lively is messier than anyone expected. Justin, known for promoting respect and collaboration in Hollywood, has built a career on ethical filmmaking. So when Blake accused him of crossing boundaries during intimate scenes, the backlash was both shocking and confusing. Insiders, however, paint a more complex picture, one where Blake often led the charge. On set, she reportedly directed Justin through emotional choreography, positioning, and even pacing. In one moment, she paused filming to ask him to focus more on emotional connection than physicality. Those close to production say Justin was cautious throughout, regularly checking in with Blake, asking, "Are you okay with this?" and adjusting whenever she asked. Now, Justin's team claims to have receipts, behind-the-scenes footage, private texts, proof Blake not only approved but actively shaped the scenes she's now challenging. And just when things couldn't get more tangled, Taylor Swift enters the picture. As Blake's close friend, her involvement adds a deeply personal twist and possibly reveals an even deeper divide between Blake's public claims and her private actions. What really happened? And why is Taylor now stepping into a legal firestorm? One thing's for sure, this Hollywood mystery is far from over.
He's had some run-ins with paparazzi where he's kind of manhandled them. Just politely push them, throw some, glitter bombs in their face or whatever. Hey, look, you got to do what you got to do to protect your family, and you love to see it. Because here, this goes to show Taylor Swift, right? You think what you want about her. I think very highly of her. She's built $1 billion business and an empire as one of the biggest, if not the biggest, pop stars of all time. And she writes all of her own music, so, as far as I have to say, beat it, right? We're all Taylor Swift fans here, whether you like it or not. And by the way, because I always rant on billionaires, but there are some billionaires who, by the way, I feel like should be taxed at a much higher level because of their wealth, that got it in more ethical ways than others. And yeah, you could hate on her for all the jet fuel she burns traveling around the world. I get that. But none of that matters to this story. The point of the story is, listen, this is why Taylor Swift felt so abandoned and betrayed by Blake Lively, because she has to keep such a tight-knit circle because everyone's out to get her. She's like if you were the All-American Rejects times a billion, okay? Sure, they can sell out a backyard in, Des Moines, but Taylor Swift sells out stadiums, right? She is huge. She can't fly, Spirit Airlines. She has to fly private. She can't go places because she gets swarmed. She wants to give one person a photo, then there's a line around the block. It's insatiable how famous she is. By the way, for Donald Trump to say she's no longer hot because he said so is laughable. She could sell out any place in the world, right? She could be like, all right, I'm doing a concert at the Sphinx, and then a bunch of, Egyptians are going to roll up there on their, look, hey, how are... So anyhow, the point is, King Tut's going to come out of his grave. Hey, I'd love to see you, big fan. So the point is that she's huge, and for Blake Lively to cross her, this at least is reinforcement that her father and her family have her back. Of course, her man, her boy toy, as it were, Travis Kelce, unfollows Ryan Reynolds. And this is a big, big story.
By the way, I want to be clear. The reason why I respect this move is because it's his daughter, okay? I'm always going to respect a parent that is willing to burn it all down to the ground to protect their kid, okay? There's an element of that as a parent, real going to recognize real. And Scott Swift played me. He saw me. Scott Swift saw me. Fisherman always sees another fisherman. He saw me salivating for these text messages. He saw me being like, we're going to see the real Taylor Swift. And he was like, no, Candace, the world will never meet the real Taylor Swift. But what clearly set him off, given the timeline of you see a phone call allegedly coming in on February 14th, it would have been this extortion attempt. And I wouldn't try it. I keep trying to tell people, Taylor Swift's parents are not from nowhere. They're not nobodies. Scott Swift, what's his background? Stockbroker, okay? Her family was so financially successful that when their little girl said, I want to be a singer, they up and moved her to Nashville.
I think Candace and I have, very similar ways of thinking. I could imagine Candace growing up played with a lot of dolls by herself. She just, and I don't mean this as an insult, but she's kind of got that creativity where she puts together all of the pieces in her head. It's not always right, but it's not always wrong either. And this is a big bombshell moment. So go check out that full conversation that Candace, I mean, hey, look, say what you want. You don't have to agree with her politics. I certainly don't agree with probably I don't know, 80% of her politics, but I got to recognize game where I see it, right? She's able to talk through the camera to her audience as if someone else is there, and they're not, and good for her. So she, came back from maternity leave to talk about the parental urges to protect your kin.
Blake Lively's lawsuit against Justin Baldoni is raising serious questions about consent, control, and the unexpected involvement of Taylor Swift. At the center of the case are scenes Blake now claims spiraled out of her control, unscripted touches, and prolonged kisses she says were never consented to. She portrays Justin as someone who repeatedly crossed boundaries, making her feel blindsided and uncomfortable. But behind the scenes, the story may not be so simple. Multiple crew members describe Blake as unusually hands-on during these very scenes, reviewing camera angles, directing the pacing, and giving Justin specific instructions. Some even called her a second director. If that's true, how did scenes she seemingly choreographed become the basis of a misconduct claim? It gets more complicated. In a post-production interview, Blake praised the set as collaborative and safe, even thanking Justin for respecting her creative vision. Now, those same interactions are being reframed as coercive. One crew member under oath testified that Justin checked in constantly, always seeking Blake's approval before adjusting any scene, and she gave the green light every time, even encouraging more expressive takes. These contradictions have fueled intense debate over who held control, and whether this is really about boundaries or something else entirely. Industry insiders are beginning to speculate. Is the lawsuit about justice or off-screen power plays and career positioning? And just as things reach a boiling point, Taylor Swift enters the frame. Once Blake's closest friend, Taylor is now rumored to have contributed key evidence that could flip the case on its head. Whatever the truth is, one thing's certain. This isn't just a lawsuit. It's a battle over narratives, power, and reputations in the heart of Hollywood.
The reality check here is Taylor Swift is no longer friends with Blake Lively. I firmly believe this. And the evidence is here because People magazine, who has been typically Team Blake, has now turned and says their friendship has halted. The singer wants no part in this drama. I mean, who doesn't believe this? If you're a Swiftie, how do you not believe this? Of course she wants no part of it. She never wants part of it. She likes to cause some drama. She does cause her own drama when she feels it's justified, and she shuts down drama with her lawyers and her reps all the time. We're going to get to that in a second, but let's go through what this source says. Insiders shed light on where the friends stand. We know where they stand. They don't stand anywhere near each other anymore. It's halted, a source tells people. The two stars are taking some space, but their friendship isn't completely over yet. I think that's a nice, stop this, Blake, end this lawsuit, and maybe we'll see. But Swift was issued the subpoena, and of course that upset her. The battle against Justin Baldoni continues. Multiple sources tell People exclusively that the actress's relationship with Swift is struggling as the singer faces a subpoena by Baldoni's legal team. I'll tell you right up, it was struggling when she read Blake Lively speaking about her friend in private and using her, labeling her dragon, That's a pretty hard thing to not see again. Like, whoa, that's what you think of me? I'm here to be your chess piece, and you use me to get how you want? Oh, and then by the way, it turns out Justin maybe wasn't as bad as you kept telling me he was, and I'm seeing all this stuff come in, and it clearly is more complicated, and now I'm being dragged in to this drama. Imagine being a friend with somebody like that. You would not want to be involved with that friend. You would look at them differently. Of course, that's what's happening here. So yeah, the friendship has halted, a source says close to Swift. Taylor wants no part in
Taylor Swift, Blake Lively, and a Hollywood rift that's shaking the industry.
No one saw this coming.
Taylor Swift, known for her unshakable loyalty, is now at the center of a legal firestorm that's putting her decades-long friendship with Blake Lively to the test. The two have been inseparable in the public eye, sharing holidays, red carpets, and private shoutouts. But now, Taylor's involvement in Blake's lawsuit against co-star Justin Baldoni is raising serious questions and possibly shifting the direction of the entire case. The bombshell? Taylor may have handed over key evidence that undercuts Blake's claims. Sources say Swift privately shared text messages that appear to show Blake praising the very scenes she now says crossed the line. If true, this isn't just damaging, it could collapse the foundation of Blake's legal case. Even more shocking are whispers that Taylor supplied behind-the-scenes footage, unreleased material showing Blake giving choreography notes, adjusting camera angles, and directing Justin during intimate scenes. If that footage surfaces in court, it won't just challenge the narrative, it could destroy it. So, why would Taylor do this? That's the million-dollar question. Some insiders say she's standing by Baldoni because she believes the truth matters more than loyalty. Others think her own Hollywood scars have made her less tolerant of narratives that don't add up. Either way, it's clear Taylor isn't sitting this one out. She's taking a stand, even if it means clashing with a longtime friend. And this case isn't just about two actors or a lawsuit. It's about the post-#MeToo era itself. What happens when a woman with power on set later claims victimhood? Can someone choreograph a scene and claim it crossed a line? Blake Lively's role as both performer and creative force blurs the lines we've come to rely on in conversations about consent. If she directed key moments, who holds accountability when boundaries are later questioned? This case is forcing Hollywood to confront a difficult truth. Agency and accountability aren't always clear-cut. When power, friendship, and justice collide, who do you believe? And who stands alone when the cameras stop rolling?